What we discussed in last session was the discipline. We all understood that the human life is very precious, it's very special. Unlike other species, the human life has the opportunity to make new karma, new actions, and make new track of life. Whereas the other species, they live their life based on the instinctive programming that has been done for that species. They live within the enslavement of the instincts, which are the limited instincts given to them. And those are the survival instincts. They live only for survival. Whereas the human being have the freedom to make new track of life, a track that can lead them either to miseries or a track that can lead them to liberation, to the bliss. The choice is in our hand. Which track we want to progress, the choice is in our hand. And to able to make any progress in the track of bliss, in the track of liberation, in the track of devotion, or in the track of transformative changes in our life, the fundamental element is the discipline. We discussed in last session that we need to have discipline in our sleep habit, discipline in diet, and we also need to adopt or rather aspire for making an early morning meditation a possibility in our life. There is a saying, it says that एक ही साधे सब सधे, सब साधे एक जाए, जो तू सींचे मूल को फूले फले अघाए. It means that if you aim for just this one thing, everything else will automatically start falling in place. If you start fixing every other things and not paying attention to this root need of our life, then you will go for a toss. You don't know what will happen in your life. And this one thing that we need to fix is the progressive journey in our life, which require early morning meditation. So if we just make the arrangements in our life that no matter whatever is happening in our life, I will try to find the room of adjustments and see if I can sleep early and I can get up early. This is in order to align with the flow of the nature, to make my life healthy, make my mind healthy, and also make the best use of the Brahmhut time for making my spiritual progress healthy. So last time we all had done the commitment that we will try to discipline ourselves, sleep early, eat well in terms of how much to eat and what time to eat, and we'll try to make progress in the timings of our meditation. So if some of you can share the success and the failures, both are important learning for us. Both are important. If we failed, then why did we fail? Can we share that? If we succeed, then how did we succeed in making changes in our life? Can some of you volunteer to speak on this, on these three aspects? For last 1 week, how has been your experience? Did we do any conscious effort to bring any change in our routine, or everything remained as it is?
Good morning, Vijay. This is Ajay Muzar.
Yes, Ajay.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, so there was some improvement, not for every day, but there were some couple of days where I could discipline to get up early and do meditation. But it's not easy with the routine specifically. I think convincing the daughter to sleep early is
Mhm.
not easy. It just yeah, it it takes effort. Uh, the discipline required to plan things early, but still, I think it's not easy task. Um,
Yeah.
but yes, there were some successes. But yeah, it's a good. I can say it's a little progress on my end, but it's a great um, journey to get up early. So yeah, that's what I can share. Like I tried. Um,
Yeah, Ajay. And when the day you get up early, suddenly you will find, provided you don't sleep again. I'm saying if you get up early fresh,
right.
suddenly we find that we have time to think and plan our day and start the day with ease and not in hurry, not in rush. Things things will change as if we start moving in a different gear of life. No rush, very easy, smooth life. So I don't know whether you could experience that on those days when you could get up early and start your day early. But I do experience that every day when I get up early.
Yes. Yes. Some days when you get up early, I think it gives that early start and freshness. I completely agree. But I think sleeping early is a problem. Um, yeah, so that is something I'm working on my end. But I
Yeah,
do agree that getting up early does give that early start and freshness to
yeah.
the mind. It becomes very clear, like it gives that peace after meditation, and then things kind of become more easier to navigate. But it starts with sleeping early, and that's the struggle. But
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
let's hear from Shikhaji and Raviji. They have also raised their hands to share something. So Shikhaji.
Yes, Sadgurudeo, everyone. Last week was not as disciplined for me. It felt like it was almost jinx after the satsang. I was able to follow my routine in the past really good, but due to an upcoming travel, even though I would be in bed by 10 o'clock, I had to spend a lot of time googling some things. So one of the things that I have realized over a period of time is if there is a change in schedule, and that is where we need to prioritize things. So for me, there was an upcoming travel. I had to do a lot of preparations for that.
Mhm.
What are the places we would cover and stuff like that. So I needed extra time other than the daily format to be able to spend googling things, and that sort of took away from the sleep time. But
Yeah.
more or less, we can stick to a discipline where we can prioritize healthy eating habits, exercise, sadhana, satsang, take out that time for seva every day in our routine. That really helps. But if there is a digression, then everything goes for a toss for me for some odd reason. That was one of the things. But just this morning, I had some leftovers from last night, and I was eating that as my breakfast. And I was remembering the things that you had told Vijay Bhaiya need or greed. It was so good. I wanted to eat more, but I knew that I was full. If I was eating more, it was just for the sake of taste. So I stopped. So,
Wow.
there are some things that definitely make an impact. And I was actually visualizing you saying that need or greed. And I stopped. I was like, okay, I'm full. I will not eat more. So, yep, this week has not been as successful for me. But yes, I have realized the positives of sleeping in time, because it sort of sets the tone for your next day. And I would definitely try to imbibe it once I'm back.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. I think let's hear from others. We have Ravi ji and then Suruchi ji.
Jai Sarudev, thank you, Vijay ji, for last week's meeting. Uh, that has really impacted me a lot. And I followed the inputs provided by Monica ji, like don't eat after 6 p.m. And that has helped me. I did not need any clock to wake up. It was by default. I was getting up sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes between 4 and 4:30. And the moment when I, eat after 6 p.m., I was feeling very lethargic while waking up. So that was a very key thing. Like, I was trying to restrict my meals at the dinner time, controlling that, and clock is not needed. I was doing practice, but attaining the meditation, like having a blissful meditation, was not happening much. One day it was good, but all days, I think, if I continue this thing, maybe I'll be hitting to the first level of meditation what we are practicing. Maybe I'll be also experiencing something there. Yeah.
Wonderful, Ravi ji. That is a great, great inspiration and learning for all of us. Eating by 6 o'clock, if that changed your experience, then I think it is worth trying for in our life too. Yeah. Suruchi ji.
Jai Sadgurudeo. So after the last meeting, I was all gung ho that okay, definitely from tonight itself and tomorrow morning have to wake up in Brahmurat sadhana. Did not happen on the first day. Then me and my son we're getting over a serious bout of illness. So I realized baby steps instead of trying to do everything and failing and then feeling dejected, you know what, I can't do it, and then let's just forget it. I would focus on one step at a time. So after the first day, I focused on that, okay, have to get into bed on time. And if the sleep happens in 2 hours or a sleep happens in 1 hour, and that is irrelevant, but my bedtime is 10 o'clock. So between 10 and 10:30, I'm going to get in bed, phones closed, everything done. And then let's make it a routine from there. So out of the 7 days, 4 days I was able to stick to that. In general, haven't been able to do Brahmurat sadhana, but that alone has helped me with my energy levels through the day, just being in bed on time. And slowly I'm getting to the point that, like, yesterday I was in bed at 10, and then after 10:15 I think I slept off, even though throughout the week I was struggling, that even if I'm in bed in at 10, I was still up for the next hour because my body is not used to doing that. But by yesterday I was already to the point that I got in bed and my body is ready. You know what, yes, this is bedtime, and I was asleep very quickly. So Utkarsh also wants to add something.
Yes, it's good. They're just piggybacking some through the same journey. This is Utkarsh from Pittsburgh. Uh, I also took baby steps this week, but it has been wonderful. The discussion was eye opening. There were several reminders that I think I knew at the back of my head, but had forgotten. So shutting off the wind down time was very important. So shutting off my phone or not looking at things or not even trying to engage in serious discussions, which keep the mind working after 9 o'clock. That has been my goal. I wouldn't say I've been successful. There are times when I put the phone down or turned off the laptop at 9:30, I would say. But overall, I was able to get in bed, just trying to work towards it, get in bed between 10 and 10:30 a.m. every day, p.m. every night. The result was that I was waking up between 4:30 to 5:30 without any prompts, no alarms, nothing. Once I even woke up at 4, so I've started doing my Brahma Muhurat sadhana. I think sometime this week I started. I also just started reporting on the group. The the one challenge I'm facing is that after Brahma Muhurat sadhana, I need to sleep again. So that takes up longer. That's like a knocked out sleep. I then I have trouble waking up sometimes by 8:30, 9, and I just rush up to wake because I have a call going on that I need to jump on. So that's the only challenge, but I know it'll get better once this becomes a habit. Jai Sadgurudev.
Yeah, wonderfully said. We have Megha ji and Rahul ji also wanting to share something.
Jai Sadgurudev, all this is Megha. My entire weekdays were very good. They were disciplined. I was able to get into the routine. I already had a routine on the weekdays. It's fine. My challenge comes on the weekends, especially when you have some social invites or obligations where you're invited for dinner. So when you're going in a place which is not, you do not have control over the environment, that is if someone can help me, get some pointers that can help me in the future will be nice. As to when the invite is late, you wait for other people. You cannot control your dinner time. You cannot control your sleep time because everything gets delayed there. So if someone can help me with that, I'll really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, there is a solution to that. Let's hear first from Rahul ji. Yeah, I think you wanted to say something.
So this is a great discussion, and some of the things which I was, I've been an early riser since the childhood. I think it was a part of my family that we used to get up early, but somehow the things have changed in the, I would say, last couple of years. And I started waking up a little later, and it became a part of, like, if I'm getting up like 12:30, especially over the weekend, that is fine. I can still wake up late. This week in particularly, I just reminded myself back, and I was trying to catch up my sleep and making that habit to sleep early. It is tough, but once you decide that yes, this is my time, 10:30, whatever the time you decide, and then along with that you have to work with your feeding habits, especially the dinner time. Somebody I think mentioned like 6:30. It is a good time, keeping 3.5 hours of gap before you sleep. If you can do that, I think that is the best possible approach. And when Meghaji was talking about some days, you don't have control. And this week itself, there was one particular day, or I would say 1 or 2 days, where I did not have the control. In that case, I could not sleep properly. But normally what happens is that if you're doing it for 5 days, 1 or 2 days of change, I would say 1 day of change, if that comes even, the body adjusts it. But if you're doing it for the longer duration, then the body is at least confused. So if you continue doing it, say 5 days, 1-2 days, it might adjust. So net what I felt is that it's important that there are some pre-activities you have to do. Do not engage a lot in maybe your mobile and some of the things in television and other things. You can try avoiding it after 9 o'clock. Eat early, and even though if you are not able to sleep, some of the times you're not able to sleep, say 1 hour or something like that, that should not discourage you to go at the same time. Make it a habit, and then slowly the body is going to adjust. So that is how I felt. I woke up most of the time when I slept on time. I woke up like 5:30. I could do my sadhana as well. I just that I did not do the reporting, but it's been a good one. Some days I felt like my sleep is not completed. Then I felt like, okay, I should go back and take some nap. Otherwise, mostly I felt it like I'm more energetic as compared to other days. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. All these sharings tell one story, that we have become definitely more sensitive of how things are happening in our life. Earlier things were havoc unnoticed. We stay awake, not knowing what is the repercussion impact of what I am doing, my actions, how it is impacting my mind, my sadhana. We were very insensitive about all this. But I would say we have all to join hand together to bring sensitivity in our life, and we have succeeded in that. So there is no failure. I'll say that if we even notice our failure, then that is also a success. At least we started noticing these minute subtle impact, the impact of the sleep pattern, the food pattern, the habit patterns. We have started making notice on all these in our life. That is a big success, big progress in our life. So kudos to everyone, and kudos to this joint effort. We will definitely make further progress. Now, before I move on to the session, I want to add one experience about how to tackle the situation that Meghaji mentioned. Meghaji said that there are certain routines, certain events to attend which are not in our control, and then how can we handle those situations? This reminds us the actor Akshay Kumar. You know, everybody in the industry knows that Akshay Kumar is early riser. Now, when everybody knows that he is an early riser, they know how to and what to do with Akshay Kumar. I mean, when to reach him and when to ask any work from him. Everything people started adapting based on the well-known fact about him. And I think the same formula we need to apply in our life too. Not only we should live our life uh, based on what we decided to do, but it is fine for others also to know that, hey, I am trying to stick to this routine, and I really need all of your coordinations, your help in making that happen. So please pardon me if I'll not be able to stay late, because this will really break my routine. So make people know about it. I think that's fine. And then that, in fact, the all your acquaintance will help you then to maintain what you wanted to do. I think Lalmaniji has to share something. Yeah. Yes, Lalmaniji.
Jai Sadgurudeo. It's a very good advice. I will just add one more thing that I faced this week. Very much, similar to what Meghaji mentioned, but not exactly same. But so it's like on one particular day, I was late in eating dinner. It was already like almost 9 o'clock, and I didn't had the dinner. So what I did that I just reduced the amount of food that I intake every day. So like almost one third, I had it, and I realized that that kind of did not give me that kind of laziness or lethargic nature. So kind of by the time I went to bed, It was still light and not feeling heavy, and that kind of helped me to get up early in the morning. So just wanted to add this in case if it is just for the, at least the food part. If you're not able to at least eat early for whatever reason, probably reducing the amount might help a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful advice. Yeah. And then coming back to what Ajay ji mentioned, that he had mentioned this last week too, and he said that it's actually dependent upon the routine of the daughter. Uh, this is where probably we need to slowly see if we can sensitize about the the importance of maintaining routine and stuff in the entire family. I know the high school life is tough, the middle school life is tough these days. People have to stay awake to maintain or to complete their homework and all that. uh, but there is always scope of improvement. In fact, why not, if we could become more controlled in our life, and maybe not only we as a parent, but even our children as students can be more efficient in utilizing their time, if and only if they have this goal in their mind, that I have to complete everything before 10 o'clock. When we are very sensitive about this timeline as a family, not only one person alone, only when the entire family aspire to achieve this goal, that we have to wrap up everything by 10, then it becomes a possibility. I mean, of course, what Ajayji mentioned would be a challenge for everybody if the entire family is not aligned with it. So I would definitely request Ajayji that if possible, you can have one session for the entire family. You can mention them that, hey, it's really very beneficial for our day-to-day work. It is about just becoming better at whatever we are doing by knowing one secret, one technique, one process. And for that, I am organizing one session online. We don't have to go anywhere. It will be a Zoom session. So entire family will sit together and we'll have a one-on-one session for an hour or so. Or if someday you are able to bring the family in person into any of our sessions, that is also great to do. But I believe you are remote, so at least this definitely is required, just to sensitize, bring sensitivity in the family, that how important it is for the entire family to work together to bring health in the family.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Vijayji. I think that session will be really helpful. Yeah, I'm looking forward for that type of session where the whole family can can understand the importance of
Yeah.
what you're teaching here, and the the importance of sleeping early.
Yes.
It's going to take a lot of time because the habits are formed and it's not easy to break those habits, especially with the little ones. But hopefully you can help us with that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So with about 20 minutes left, let's now make further progress. Our day 2 lesson is living in wisdom. What we, created definitely a very successful sensitivity about is the discipline. Now we are all a bit sensitive about it. We are all putting effort in bringing discipline in our life. Ideally, if we talk about how it used to happen in ancient time, when the disciples used to go to the Gurukul, they were not given the second lessons until the first lesson became the part of their life. And they were very, very serious about it. They were saying that this is the cow, and I assign this to you. You have to serve this cow, honestly, and till, it gives birth to, the baby. This is assigned to you. You have to do everything, look after it, and do nothing. This is what your seva is. And then they used to see the discipline in the disciple, how much dedicated, how much disciplined my student is in the assignment I have given to them. And only when the master used to find, yes, the student is 100% committed to do what I asked him to do. Still, they used to test it for 1 year, not 1 day, 2 day, month, but a year or more than a year time. And when it becomes the integral part in their character to remain in discipline, to follow what master says, when this becomes the integral part of their life, when they just cannot deviate, no matter what else comes as allurement, attractions in their life, they will still remain within the principles. When they used to see that happening in the disciple, it is only then they were being initiated into something called the first stage of Brahma Vidya technique. We all are so fortunate or unfortunate, both sense, I will say. Fortunate that we are given this technique so seamlessly at ease without too much of hassle in our life. It's so fortunate. But unfortunate because this has come so easy that we probably are not realizing the gravity of what is available to us so easy with the presence of the current master. Probably we are not realizing the gravity of this fortune that we all have, living in the era when the master is present in the human form. So this is where, this was very important, that what we discussed in last week session, we really wanted to adopt that in our life and see and live that life for at least a week. Ideally, we probably can postpone this for another week too, meaning let's try for one more week. First, bring this basic thing in place that yes, now I have started sleeping in time. I have gone through all iterations of the challenges. Now I know what is there in my life and how to tackle them and still maintain the habit of sleeping early and getting up early. In fact, every time we get some challenge in our life, probably that gives an opportunity for us to learn, okay, how could I have done better to manage this and still sleep in time and get up early? But we would do that only when we are sensitive about it, when we are always conscious about it. Every problem has some solution for better. In fact, it is to improve our ability to handle the situation. So we take every obstacles, every struggles as an opportunity to refine our capabilities. And we'll continue to do that. We'll welcome the challenge, but we'll still find room for making adjustment and see how I can do both. I can handle the challenge as well as still maintain sleeping in time and getting up in time. Probably it will require a lot of mental strength, very good control on our urge, on our greed. But whatever it takes, we will attempt, not only attempt, we will succeed in that. If we are sensitive, if we are conscious about it. So there's no discount on the day one session. We still have to continue that. So discipline will remain integral part as we move along. We don't have to leave that aside. We are only going to add things in our life, not leave anything what we learn from each other in this session. So today we are going to make progress in living in wisdom. Now, this is a big topic. Maybe this will span in multiple sessions. But more fundamentally, for us to exercise, for coming week is to make some discipline and principles in our life, which will be the basis of what you choose in your life. What should I do in my life? Given a choice, should I do this or that? There must be some principles, and that principle should be aligned to a bigger goal of life. Every small aspect of life that every small thing that we are going to do in our life, some way must be in line with the bigger goal of life. So, to have or to design the principles in our life, it is important first to know, okay, what higher goal I need to aspire for which goal I need to live in life, so that I do not detract from that. No matter what else I am assigned, no matter what responsibility, no matter what task I am doing, I must make sure that everything I do align to the bigger goal of my life. And when we say that no matter whatever we do in our life, that can be aligned to the goal, the higher goal that we all need to aspire for. And that's the reality, because it is not dependent on what, it is just dependent on how. Our higher goal of life is not dependent on what, it is dependent on how. It is the how aspect that defines the refinement of our own character. It is the how aspect. And the higher goal of life is also dependent about how we are conducting our life, because only that will create the possibility of attaining the state of what the higher goal is demanding. The higher goal is demanding a certain state, certain, when I say state, meaning certain elevation within our thoughts, within our actions, and within our experience. Elevation of experience, elevation of thoughts, elevation of actions. Only when we raise our platforms, it is only then we reach to that higher goal. And raising the platform by which we operate our life, for raising the platform over which we operate our life, we really need to we really need to elevate our consciousness above the mundane thing, above the minute aspect of life. And this is where the things come, living in wisdom. We want to know how to live in wisdom. And there are certain formula for that. The first and foremost thing is to understand, why do I sometimes do something that I should not do in my life? Why is that I do something, and I'm going to write it here. Why is that I do something that I should not do? I know that I should not do that, but I still do. I know that this is not right, but I still do that. Why do I do that mistake? I will do that mistake only when I have kept the wisdom aside at that point of time and kept my mind and the attractions in front of me. The greed has taken over my intellect. Why is that I do something that I should not do? Only when maybe I have not adhered to the discipline, the main foundation that could have sustained the joy and the happiness in living the righteous life. So we have to define the code of conduct for our life. When we say make some principles in your life and stick to that, this is about making a code of conduct. How do we want to live the life? We have to consciously make some code of conduct. Now, the examples, what could be a sample code of conduct? What should be a sample code of conduct? It could be that I will live a life with only, what to say, I should rephrase it differently. I'll live a life with truth. Now, this is a big statement. Now, behaviorally, maybe at least at the level of our speech, I will do what I will never speak lies. Maybe let's say we make this simple principle that from now on, I will never speak lies. I'll rather keep mum. Rather, I'll not say anything. But I'll never speak lies. Let's say we make this principle. And this definition of lies, definitely we have to be very practical about it. Definition of lies and truth, we can definitely understand that there are situations where what you say is maybe in one eyes it is a lie, but maybe you're doing it for better of somebody, it's for well-being, it's for service, it's something that is helping, it is needed. That is a different story. That is a different story. But lies that you yourself, your soul will feel, your heart will feel that I have done something wrong by speaking these lies. On some occasion when you think that, oh, I have to say this, and after saying something which is not the case, you're saying something opposite because you want to save somebody or you want to do something good, and by doing that you'll feel good. You'll feel good from your heart. You will not feel that you have done something wrong. Your heart will say that. So at least we reach to that level of maturity where whatever our understanding is, at least from that frame of understanding, whatever we know is right, whatever we know is wrong, we make sure we don't fall prey to lies. We we will just stick to speaking only the truth. Let's say this becomes our principle in our life. This is like one sample code of conduct. Second thing is, I will keep my words. I will rather be thoughtful. I will be thoughtful. I will think before I say, because I'll say only what I can do. I will say what I can do. I will rather not say what I cannot do. So if you bring this level of sincerity and commitment for our life, this could be just sample, some behavioral code of conduct. Simple thing. So you make your own code of conduct. And when you make those code of conduct effective in your life, your own made code of conduct will begin with that. And then maybe later we'll talk about what is the code of conduct that Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, the master of Vihangam Yoga, what code of conduct that Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj want us to adopt on top of whatever we have made our own code of conduct. Maybe we'll talk about that later, but first we need to design, or rather we need to bring this sincerity in our life, that we build up a habit of sticking to something that we decide, and that too truthfully. So you make your own code of conduct. And that will be, put some lines, what you want to, what kind of person, what kind of character you want to become. What attributes will define your character? If anybody wants to describe what is Vijay Kumar like, and it should not be hazy. Every person should be able to notice those attributes in us. Then only we can say we are successful in adhering to those code of conduct. When people will know that, yes, this person means he will never tell a lie. This person means he will do what he says. And when we bring this sensitivity about doing what you decide to do, by bringing this is called maryada. When you make a code of conduct, this is what is called maryada. In English, you can call the boundary of actions. You create a boundary over your actions, in the sense you will hesitate to break that boundary. And that hesitation is good. You make a boundary which is more conducive for your growth. So you're not blocking your progress. Rather, you're blocking only disturbances and disruptions of growth. So make a boundary which protects you, not a boundary that prohibits you from growth. No, not that. A boundary which acts like a protector for you. So we have to create that boundary. What is something you will never do? What is something you will do? We have to create our own code of conduct. And this will be personalized in nature, because everybody right now is tied to certain habits. We all are bound to our own habits, and we know that this habit is something is bothering me. I really want to improve on this. And the reason we are talking about all this is because Vihangam Yoga is a 5-level journey. Vihangam Yoga is aiming to raise us to the level of truthfulness when we become eligible for the experience of Supreme Divine. And in Swarved, Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj has clearly mentioned this, that only truth can meet another truth. If there is any iota of falsehood within our character, any lies within ourselves, then we are not ready for the ultimate gift that Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj wanted to give us. We are not ready for that. So we definitely have to work upon it. We definitely have to refine our character. And for that, the only reason that we fail to make progress, we do things that we should not do, is our evil mind. An evil mind can be kept under control only by the wisdom, by the blessings, by the sincerity, by the commitment, by the awareness. During our day, when we are engaged into any activity, during that engagement also, only when we live our persona with the behavior that we really want to develop within ourselves, it is only then we are harnessing those behavior within ourselves. So maybe some days there'll be struggle. I mean, initial days there'll be struggle. That mind is of this nature, it wants to do this, but we may have to stop it a little bit. We may have to put some control on this. Maybe we'll be sad few days because we are changing our habits. But so be it, it's for good. But the beautiful thing about mind is, and the experience of sorrow and happiness, the good thing about that is that our experience of life, our experience of sorrow and happiness, the sadness and joy, it is all dependent on the state of mind. And state of mind is tameable. Our experience of life of joy and sadness is dependent upon frame of mind, the desires that govern our life. It is dependent on that. If anybody is having no desire of doing a thing, he will not feel happy about it if he is forced to do that. But if his mind demands, if his mind is tamed and it creates the craving for something, then it will feel happy doing that. And the good thing about mind is that mind is tameable. You can make the mind the way you want. You can make the mind the way you want by repeated actions. By repeated actions. This is the beauty about it. Whatever you repeatedly engage into, whatever you repeatedly engage into, your mind will slowly, adapt to that. Provided it is driven by a big aspiration of life. There has to be some strong force not randomly choosing any actions to do repeatedly. No, it has to have a strong force behind. And you know that you're doing this, you're forcing yourself to do this for a few days only because you are able to see that this is required for me to attain what I want to attain. A big force of higher goal is required to make it happen. So we won't live our life what mind says. We will rather live our life what our principle says. And to be able to stick to our principles, it is important that we'll keep our intellect awake and will act based upon our wisdom and intellect, not what my mind says. Swamiji mentions in Svarved, a yogi does not do what mind says. A normal human being does what mind says, but a yogi does opposite of what mind says. On those situations where mind is driving opposite, yogi will not surrender to it. Yogi also goes through the same struggle that we all are going through. When we are saying yogi here, yogi in the journey, not a yogi who has completed the journey. A yogi in the journey does not do what mind says, but he does the opposite and do what intellect says, what wisdom says. There'll be days when you will find that it is giving challenge, mind is giving challenge, but there is a invisible satisfaction after that struggle, which you're not able to see now. For example, every day when we start getting up early in the morning, and even though, let's say, I think one of you said, I think Raviji said that someday the meditation is not blissful, and definitely he understands that the meditation has to be blissful, and someday it is. But the fact that we are able to get up and do sadhana, the present Swamiji says very beautifully, this itself is a big change in our life. This itself is a big experience. If we are able to sit and put an effort and fight against mind for 10 minutes every day without fail. If let's say one day you surrender and do not do the meditation, and you compare that frame of mind, then you will understand actually why Swamiji says it's a big thing. We are successful actually if we are able to sit. And that you can compare when you, let's say, you start failing to sit in the morning, and then look at your frame of mind and compare that with the satisfaction that you are getting when you're able to maintain throughout the week, getting up early and sitting in meditation. No matter how blissful it is during meditation, it doesn't matter. That's not even a matter of concern. The matter of concern is, are we able to sit in meditation? If yes, then what is the frame of mind? What is the level of satisfaction that we have? And when we start skipping that, what is the level of satisfaction at that point of time? You will know what we are attaining, what we are getting when we are, even if no matter whatever is the nature of meditation, but at least I'm able to sit. So if we try to, understand this gravity, that if we are able to sit for meditation, one good thing, one success that we are doing, which probably we are not realizing, is that we are able to maintain the good sanskara within ourselves that supports sitting in meditation. We are not giving room to the bad sanskara to rise, which will prohibit me, which will start convincing me not to get up early. I am not allowing that sanskara to rise, that britis to rise from my chitta. My chitta has both positive and negative thoughts. By maintaining my routine of getting up early and doing meditation without break, I am making sure that I am living with good sanskara. The sanskara that is supporting me to get up early and do the meditation. So this itself is a big success. At least if we don't find progress in our meditation, we are making sure we are not at least rolling back our progress. We are maintaining that. We are staying at that level. And of course, we are going to make progress with time, but at least we are not falling back. So this, Swamiji said, this is a big thing. If you are able to meditate, if you are able to follow, if you are still connected with Vihangam Yoga, despite all different other deviations and offerings and allurement in life, if you still understand the importance of why I need to make progress in Vihangam Yoga, if you have this intellectual understanding, forget about experiential progress, forget about meditation experience. Just with our intellect, just with our understanding, if we are able to sustain this, that this philosophy, that I have a bigger goal to achieve in my life and I must continue to put an effort in this. If we are able to sustain this thought, then this itself is a big win, because this is making a platform for the progress in your life and not letting you roll back your progress. And Swamiji says that we are a soul, we are a spirit, and a spirit has to, whatever virtues with which it started the journey, if by end of one human journey, if it at least makes little progress in those virtues, it is a progress. And this is how it will make progressive journey in this Vihangam Yoga. It's a life, it's not one life journey. It's a life after life. We make progress and then we achieve the state that Swamiji wants us to achieve. And then it becomes very smooth for him to bestow these experiences and unfold the mysteries and liberate us. We all are preparing ourselves to become that. And please don't feel that, this has to happen in a minute. No. It will be a progressive journey, and it will happen only when we make a conscious effort of making progressive journey. And that requires adherence to the code of conduct. How adherent we are to the principles we make, how truthful we are in our life. So the lesson today is make some code of conduct, make some principles in your life, which should be in line with your spiritual goal. The highest spiritual goal of human life is to become eligible for the experience of Almighty, is to become eligible for that. Whether I'll experience Almighty or not is actually in the hand of Sadguru. It is in the hand of Master, not in my hand. Only when he finds me eligible for that, he will then give me that experience. But my bigger aspiration of life is to become eligible for receiving that experience. And in order to become eligible, I need to refine my character. I need to put boundaries to my actions that goes beyond my progress. I need to put a check on my mind. I need to learn to say no to things that I should not do. And I need to force myself to do things that I should do. Maybe first few days I have to force, but once the mind become like that, then it becomes a joyful experience, because then mind also become conducive to it. When we do things repeatedly, we develop that vritis within our chitta. When we do certain things with repetition, it becomes a nature within ourselves. Then even unconsciously we'll do the same thing. All that is possible when we create the chain of vritis supporting that actions. And based on what chain of vritis we are feeding in our chitta, the mind is going to be impacted by that. Mind will get those thoughts, what you're feeding in chitta, with actions. And that's why our actions are going to mold our mind the way we want. First few days we have to struggle because we are still building the vritis within our chitta. Once the vritis are formed in our chitta with few days of effort, then those vritis are going to impact our mind every time, and mind will be also in support to perform those actions. It will become a pleasurable experience thereafter. And that is why only those initial few days, there is a little bit of struggle. Once it becomes integral part of our life, it becomes a joyful ride. So better live with wisdom, not do what mind says, but do what we want to do, what the right thing is to do. Once we start living a life of righteousness within the code of conduct, then living in that righteous life itself becomes a joyful ride, because mind becomes also conducive for that. Provided we stick to that code of conduct, live that life, bring that change, build that vritis within our chitta. When all that happens, life becomes a joyful ride doing the right thing. And this is what Swamiji said in Svarved, that what is sukh? The sukh is to also live in the righteous life. The sukh is in tyag. You will start finding the happiness in sacrificing things for others. It's all a frame of mind, because a frame of mind suddenly has changed. Now giving happiness to others become your joy, because that's what the frame of mind has become. All the good things that we are supposed to do, we start finding joy in doing that good things only. And none of the bad things will ever give happiness to us, provided we remain conscious, aware, intense with our goals in life, with the spiritual goal in life. With this, I'll conclude. I think it's been a little over time today, but the exercise for us for this week, and in fact the next 2 weeks, because I don't know whether we are going to meet the long weekend. Maybe we'll not meet long weekend. Let's all have our own time to unwind, and also to engrave these changes in our life. These 2 lessons, next 2 weeks, probably we'll try to do better. We'll try to build this in our character, make our own code of conduct. And if there's something that you want to share next time we meet, that okay, these are certain principles that you have made in your life, then it will be worth sharing with each other. Maybe there will be certain things that could be personal. You definitely don't share that. But something which is generic, yeah, please feel free to share that. So we'll meet again, most likely after the long weekend. And then we'll share the progress that we have made in this. Thank you so much. If there's anybody having anything that bothers them right now, they can ask. Otherwise, we can definitely meet in the next session. Yeah, the floor is open. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijayji, for sharing such a spiritual knowledge to motivate us to do meditation. That was really helpful. I would definitely ask someone if they have any question. We can do it in a short period of time. So please come on the floor if you have any question.
Jai Sadgurudeo. Good morning to everyone. That was very wonderful listening to Vijayji's. I just wanted to add one thing. It's not really a question. That I was listening to Satsang, and I realized that the word sadhana. Please also go and check yours from your side also. Sadhana is abhyas of removing desire. So sadh is a Sanskrit word which is akanksha, abhilasha, and na is nahi. Na means no. So it is an abhyas about removing those kind of desires. I think it's more of the that's why it is called adhyatmic sadhana, because removing everything which is not adhyatmic. And that was kind of eye-opening, because it absolutely makes sense that the very purpose for the meditation and the Brahm Muhurt will have a more higher effect because of the environment being so tranquil at that time, and less noise and all of that. But literally it looks like when we call meditation as sadhana, we are contemplating our mind. We are doing some sort of a chintan or controlling our mind. By doing that, we address the vrittis that emerge in the physical world, which Vijayji was just talking about. So sometimes we just take these words and run with it, but they all have very deeper meanings, and it is all related to adhyatma actually. And so I just wanted to kind of share that drop of wisdom, because what I do is, and then going to the sleep aspect, right? Very, very important. It is a very, very big challenge, especially for me, to go to sleep at 10 p.m. if somehow I'm able to actually overcome that, because what I have timed is that I will need minimum of 6 hours of sleep. So let's say if I go to sleep at 12 and wake up for sadhana at 4 o'clock, 4:45 or something, and then again, so that's about, let's say, 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, and then again go back to sleep and wake up at 7:30. So that's like another 2 hours. So 2 plus 4 is 6. So I mean, these are some of the practical challenges. So how do we? That is also part of the vritti, like why we have to be awake after 10 p.m. And that is a habitual. It's really a habit that has built through past several decades. And so I think when we talk about sadhana, is really how do we address these desires that we have built for many, many years. And it is just abhyas of addressing those desires. I mean, I'm sure the reason we stay awake after 10 p.m. is so that we get more things done in the physical world, be it accounting, be it whatever, working on documentation or presentation or whatever it is. But it's all related to the physical world. So what I have started to do that is, because that vritti is there, I'm trying to fill that 10 to 12 p.m. by listening to satsang. But still, I would not create the discipline to go to bed at 10 p.m. That continues to be a challenge. And I think that's why I think this this discussion is very, very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Niranjanji, for your insight. I definitely felt this from this session, that we need to treat our mind as our child. We are soft on our child, but at the same time we are strict. We know what we need to do. So that will be a different perspective if we treat it. It's really hard, but that's why we have Vihangam Yoga, 3 pillars, Seva, Sadhana, Satsang, to keep us motivated to do this hard work towards the spiritual journey. Now we have reached the last phase of today's satsang. I request everyone to sit down for Shanti Path. In Shanti Path, we chant for peace for everyone in this universe. May Sadgurudeo bless the entire cosmos with peace, love, and prosperity. I would now request Ranjita ji to recite last few lines of Shanti Path. Over to you, Ranjita ji.
जय सद्गुरुदेव एवरीवन। शांति पाठ। हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांतिमय शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांतिमय शांति। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति, देव सदा फल शांतिमय, शांति शांति सुख शांति। बोले सद्गुरुदेव की जय। ओवर टू यू।
Thank you, Ranjita ji. I would like to thank all of you for joining today's satsang. I would like to thank Sulbha ji, Vijay ji, Ajay ji, Shikha ji, Ravi ji, Suruchi ji, Utkarsh ji, Megha ji, Rahul ji, Lalmani ji, and Niranjan ji for your active participation, and all of you for your active understanding and listening and keeping up to date for your meditation journey. Thank you, all of you. A special thanks to all of you. Again, I would pray Sadgurudeo for peaceful and spiritual week ahead for all of us. See you all next Sunday at 9 a.m. probably, if we are not off for Thanksgiving. Or else we will definitely meet next Sunday at 9 a.m. EST on the same Zoom session. Have a wonderful day ahead. Jai Sadgurudeo.